Hey folks, welcome back to another edition of Somewhere Downrange, or what in the hell's that boy up to now? Well, as one might be able to deduce from that great big beautiful picture in front of you, we got a new toy today, new out on the market. Now, before you go thinking I'm a shill for Smith & Wesson, I ain't. They did not send me this pistol for free. In fact, this pistol is on loan to me by my good buddy Leroy, because he wanted one and he wanted me to test her out and go through her and see if this is going to make as good a little 30-round truck pistol as he hopes it will. Talking about the Smith Wesson M&P 2.0 22 Magnum polymer pistol. And we're not going to do a deep dive into all the foibles. I'm sure that you that have watched the videos by Guns and Gear and Honest Outlaw and Suits and all them other guys that got sent one for free have done. If you want the minutial details of all the little idiosyncrasies explained to you about semi-auto firearms firing long rimfire case cartridges, you can go there and get all the information you need. Folks, we are interested in doing one thing and one thing only: seeing if this thing works as reliably as we hope it will. Now, as a caveat, Smith tells you, and other gun guys will tell you, and I certainly will tell you myself, semi-auto rimfire weapons, whether they're 22 long rifle long or Magnum, or even the old 5mm, can have their issues. It is a rimfire case. It's a straight wall case, and 22 mag is the longest, as far as I know of, rimfire cartridge available on the market today. The 22 mag dates back to 1959. The Winchester WRF goes back to 1896 or 95, and the 22 long rifle and long just before that. It's a style of cartridge that's been around for a long time. But if any of you have ever owned semi-automatic rimfire 22 caliber weapons, especially if you had Magnums, we all know that's an extremely long straight case being thrown towards a very tiny hole. All right, so folks, take it with a grain of salt. I haven't even taken this pistol outside the house yet, but I got a feeling she might run fine, but she's going to have more hiccups than any other semi-auto pistol you own in centerfire, unless you've got an absolute piece of shit 9mm from overseas somewhere. So we've got several different brands of ammunition we're going to try. And on the subject of ammunition, the Smith & Wesson handbook that comes with this weapon tells you in no uncertain terms ammunition used in this weapon must be jacketed ammunition. It can be total metal jacket, it can be FMJ, it can be jacketed hollow point, jacketed solid point, but they tell you do not attempt to use copper plated or straight lead ammo, which I see very, very seldom do I ever see any 22 mag like that, but I'm sure it must exist. They also tell you do not attempt to use rat shot or snake shot loads, because they don't function this thing either. Now, if you'll look at the front of the magazine, most times when you see any rimfire magazine that fits into a semi-auto pistol, or usually pistols, you can recall that most times the rounds are all stacked directly on top of one another. They're all in a line, and the magazine delivers that cartridge straight up behind the hole with no cant or tilt, just a modest little upward lift so that the round can be thrown in. On this weapon, those cartridges are staggered. They're not stacked straight on top of one another. The ass ends are staggered off to the left and right sides. And I just don't know how well that's going to work. It seems like they've said, hey, you know what, we're going to sacrifice something that's done on just about any other rimfire magazine fed cartridge firing weapon for reliability, and we're going to go ahead and knock some of that shit out of there by going ahead and putting ammunition in a magazine in a manner I've never seen it put in a rimfire 22 caliber magazine before. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pack all this stuff up and head out to the range. Now, we're going to go out there with 3 different kinds of ammunition. We're going to take some Hornady 30 grain VMAX, and that is some wonderful stuff out of any 22 mag I've ever fired when I shot it out of it. In fact, that's the ammunition that performs the best out of the Henry lever gun that my dad has. We've also got some CCI Maxi Mag, and we've got a couple boxes of some good old Winchester varmint small game, and that is a jacketed hollow point round with a small exposed lead tip. I'm kind of curious to see what that does. The CCI, of course, is essentially a total metal jacket, and the Hornady is a polymer tipped VMAX style sharp pointed bullet. So I'm hoping those have a greater level of reliability. I've watched a lot of the videos that were put out by the guys that got sent one of these by Smith and then got to make their videos and had to stand around with their thumbs in their butts waiting until a specific day to release their vids. And I've seen some good, and I've seen some and I've seen some meh, and I've seen some atrocious. So keep your fingers crossed. This is not for those of you who like to get on the comment section and detract and try to impress us all with your knowledge, preeminence and prescience for looking at a video on a screen and determining what all the facts are surrounding things. Oh, Jesus Christ, would you people get back in your grandma's basement and stay there? This is not a hit piece. I simply am going to go out. We're going to shoot this puppy as much as we can, as fast as we can, and try to see just what kind of level of reliability we have. Now, I have gone through this weapon, front to back, top to bottom. I've made sure there's no debris, no tooling, burrs, nothing left in it from test firing. Slicked her up with some good zero friction. She ought to be able to run, and she ought to be ready to run. I don't monetize. There is absolutely no reason, no motivation for me whatsoever to want to make a hit piece, an assassination piece, or to shill for a company and splice a bunch of edit clips together and make you think it's better than it is. We are going to get honest, no bullshit, straight up, one-on-one use. And you won't see me start to fire a magazine and then clip to a different angle and fire some more 5 or 6 shots and then clip to a different angle and fire another 5 or 6. It's not going to happen like that. We're going real time. We're not editing, we're not cutting, we're not splicing, we're not doing movie magic. All right, enough of that nice little rant. Damn near 10 minutes. Let's grab this shit, get out to the range, and find out what this badass looking little pistol can do. Grab your ear pro, because she's going to be noisy. Stand by. Hey, welcome out to the range, folks. Beautiful morning for this. Not too bad on the temperatures right now. You're gonna have to bear with the sound of the wind generators in the background. It looks like a nice calm day down here on the ground, but you get up there at 200 or 300 feet AGL, it's a little windy. It only takes 4-mile-an-hour wind to make these things start turning and crank out a bunch of noise. So we got that Smith Wesson M&P 2.0 22 mag out here. We got 3 different types of ammo. In the intro, I talked about bringing out some Winchester. Turns out that ammunition is not on the list of recommended approved ammos for use in this weapon. Yes, Smith & Wesson has a list of ammunition that is recommended or approved for use, and that ain't on it. And for good reason. I tried to load a magazine and drop the slide and feed one, and it hung smooth up first time, so I was like, okay, that wouldn't be fair to the testing. If the weapon manufacturer has a list of ammo that is approved or recommended and you're using something that's not on that list, well, you're trashing the whole concept of the test. So I've replaced that with an ammunition that is approved. So we still have the 30 grain Hornady VMAX. We still have the CCI Maxi Mag 40 grain TMJ. And we have some of the CCI Maxi Mag Plus V, which is a ballistic tip, kind of like the Hornady is. A full metal jacket, a polymer tip, and it's on the list. So we're going to use those instead of using the Winchester. We don't want to foobar the results by using something that ain't recommended. Now, I have yet to fire this weapon, so the first thing I'm going to do, chuck in a magazine and check that sight picture. I'm going to use the Hornady Maxi Mag Plus V WMR to do that, because it's going to be the same bullet weight as the Hornady, so that's what we're going to be having the most ammunition fired through. And I've been keeping these, I loaded these magazines up last night. Tippy top, 25 rounds. Yes, they are 30 round magazines, but to be YouTube compliant, 25. And blocked so you can't load any more than that. But I want to relate to you a little issue or foible idiosyncrasy on these magazines. You know, when you're loading this ammunition, you're loading a thin, straight-walled rim case, and you can't just chuck them in there like you do 9mm or 45 or anything else. This takes some extra care and precision. This ammunition is not stacking directly on top of one another, and it's not double stacking like regular automatic pistol bullets do. This is a rim cartridge, so they're staggering. It's like the same type of loading configuration you get with an SMLE or a PSL or a Mosin Nagant. You have bullets more or less really close to a center line axis, but the bases are back there 7-10 degrees off that center line. So this ammunition's like this. You have to be careful. Keep those rims training in front of one another. And be gentle and get them in there straight and right, because if you don't, you're just setting yourself up for failure. I will reiterate, it seems to me kind of counterintuitive to have rimfire ammunition loaded in such a manner, but it seems to be working for the most part for other tubers, so let's find out how it does for us today. What do you say? Alright, we've got a target down there, 15 yards. Let's spin the camera angle around, fire a few rounds, see if these sights need any adjustment. Get your ear pro and your eye pro, baby, because it's going to be loud. Stand by. Alrighty then. Got our magazine loaded up. That CCI Maxi Mag V with the ballistic tip, black tip. Let's give this puppy a few trial errors. See what kind of results we get. I'm just going to use a full center hold sight picture, because that big old green high vis front sight is, man, it's like it's shining like a flashlight right now. Stand by. I say it's a pretty good trigger. It's a better trigger than I expected. All right. I think really we're pretty dang close to center. You know one thing, you can pull that trigger before you want to sometimes. Well, that's a full YouTube compliant mag, and I don't think that group's too bad. Let's go down there and take a look at it. Stand by. Hey, not bad. You could cover that with a soup can lid, and I've got at least almost half the magazine in the orange here. That's less than 1.25 inches. That's not bad. I think I'm gonna discount these. Gonna go ahead and pace these over and slow down a little bit. I think this is me getting used to the trigger. It is a fairly crisp, fairly nice trigger. It surprised me. It's better than I thought it would. So I'll go ahead and throw some pasties on there and settle in a little more behind the bag and see if we can't improve on this part. Of course, this is a 22 Magnum. They're not known for extreme accuracy. That's not bad. It's better than I expected. All right, stand by. All right. Got another 25 round magazine loaded up with that CCI Max V. And this time I'm going to try to pay a little more attention. I'm not going to make any adjustments to the sights yet. Alright, and so far all the loading, which is this will be number 2, I'm doing this from a straight lock slide drop. I'm not slingshotting, I'm just straight slide drop. And that one worked just as well. Okay, let's see what kind of accuracy we can wring out of her this time. Strange, getting impacts in a place I didn't expect. This may just be me settling into the gun. Alright, that's another 25. Same ammunition. I don't know what changed, but my region of where the group wants to go shifted. Kind of strange. Let's take a look at that and see what we can see. Stand by. Alright, now I've still got quite a bit of my group. Over half the shots I fired here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 13. So, yeah, I got 12 of them back in here on that bullseye again. I ain't gonna kick about that. I ain't gonna kick about that at all. This is me settling in, I'm sure. My first magazine, my group was stringing over here and in here. Now I'm centered, but I'm coming up here. I don't know if I'm holding the grip just a little differently. I do have it in a different configuration on the bag than I had it in the first round, and that may make a difference. I may be applying just a little upward pressure from the bag, and that may be affecting the weapon. But as far as I'm concerned, for the average, this weapon is dead on with a full center hold sight picture, and I ain't changing nothing. All right, and that is magazine number 2 out of a brand new gun, and I've yet to experience a failure. Stand by. Alrighty, got another 25 round magazine put in here. This time we're using some of the CCI Maxi Mag with the 40 grain total metal jacket, and they call it their target bullet. And let's see what we see. Good load, good feed, slides down. Let's see what kind of accuracy we can wring out of this stuff. And I'm going to use the same sight picture I've been using, the center hold. And that's a full mag. Good lock back to the rear. Let's see what we got. Heck yeah. Now, in defense of the weapon, I was firing fast. Intentionally. I wanted to just let that front sight get right on center and pull the trigger. I wanted to kind of put a cadence in there. And you'll notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I've got 15 in the red instead of 10 or 12. So I think I'm kind of dialing in on that, and that's completely acceptable for 22 mag. It is spread out somewhat wider, but I was firing somewhat faster. And another 25 round magazine without a hitch. So far so good, Leroy. Let's see what else we can do. Alrighty, now left that same target down there on the board. This time I've turned the camera angle around on me. I want you to see how soft this pistol shoots. I'm liking it. Now on this run we're going to use the Hornady VMAX 30 grain, and I haven't pasted anything up, but we'll be able to see if there's any weird shift in grouping. Stand by. There's a good clean close. This is fun. Ah. Failure to eject. You were doing so good. You were doing so well. Man. Damn it. Stand by. All right. And that's what it was, failure to extract. Maybe it ain't gonna like CCI, or I'm sorry, maybe it ain't gonna like Hornady VMAX, which would be weird. Close good. Let's see if we can get some more rounds downrange. All right, one little hiccup. Let's take a look at that target though. Stand by. Really seem to be eating a lot right over here with the Hornady. Really tearing this up right here. I'm shooting fast. I'm just letting that side hit the orange and pull the trigger. Of all that, that's still a lot of hurt. Let's see what else we can do. Stand by. All right, it took us 100 rounds to experience our first failure, and let me explain a little about that, and I think I can tell you why. Now, in the owner's manual, they state, once this weapon gets warmed up and hot from repeated rapid fire or repeated extended fire, you can experience issues with failing to extract. Now, I can tell you it's been several minutes, and right here at the point of this channel, of this shroud that the barrel rides in, it's still too hot for me to leave on my skin any longer than momentarily. So this may very well be the issue they're speaking of. I'm not going to blame it on the pistol's extractors. I'm not going to blame it on the ammo. I'm just going to say straight up, that shroud is hot. And yeah, that very well could be the issue. So let's let her cool down for a few minutes, and then we'll load up some more stuff. We're 125 rounds in. We've only had one failure, and that may very well have been induced by an idiosyncrasy that they tell you about in the manual. Stand by. Alrighty then. Now, we've been doing some pretty good work. Shooting off a bag, taking our time, getting some good accuracy. What we need to try now is, how's this weapon going to perform and function, and how are we going to interact with it, and how well are we going to shoot it? If you got to drag it out in a hurry and you ain't got time to put on your glasses or stick in your ear plug, now I'm going to have these in. But if you're just coming up off the couch on an afternoon nap or something, and you suddenly got to engage, or you're driving and you don't have to wear your glasses for that, you got fog or something, just inclement weather and conditions for immediate need for defense. Got some steel up there. Let's see how that high-vis fiber optic sight does for us. Now, We got 2 more 25 round magazines loaded, and the first one is going to be the CCI VMAX, not VMAX, the CCI Maxi-Mag Plus V. Let's see, do she ring? A good close. All right, stand by. Get away. Full mag. She's doing a good job. Guarantee you that shroud's getting warm. Good job. And I would lay it on my skin, but I ain't about to be that stupid. But that's 2 magazines, 25 round each. Pretty damn fast for combat shooting, and yeah, pretty damn good. Let's give her a chance to cool down and run some more through her. Stand by. Alrighty then. We gave her a few minutes to cool down, because let me tell you, if you'd have touched that shroud to your skin for longer than a moment, it would have branded you. This is a gas operated weapon, more or less, and because that thin skinny barrel is inside a shroud with check rings on it, you run a couple mags through here, you're heating that barrel and that shroud. And because the barrel is inside the shroud, it gets hot fast. There's raw gas and fire moving through here. It's going to get hot fast. I think I'd rather just have a thicker barrel that didn't move around and didn't have to be in the shroud. It'd cool quicker, and it wouldn't get hot as fast. But anyway, that's just a foible of this particular platform. Now we've got another magazine in here. Got 2 magazines loaded up. We got some of that CCI black tip VMAX, and we got some CCI TMJ. Stand by and see if we can ring its bell. Damn it. All right. That pisses me off. Why did you do that? Another one. Huh. Now, I was sure I exercised my due diligence in loading this magazine, but I'm going to tell you something. You have to be particularly careful. In the way these sit in there, it's just so easy to get just a little bit of off in it. And I would swear I didn't get any off in it, but who knows? Let's see what we get. Just rolling on. All right. Let's dump some rounds down range. What do you say? See if she runs. Lock back. I can see from here this weapon's tending left, but not by much. And this isn't my weapon, so I'm not going to bother to try to adjust those sights. Let's let Leroy do that if he wants to. He may be satisfied with where it is. All right, let's try. This is Hornady VMAX. It shot pretty good. And I tell you something, it seems to have a softer and lighter recoil impulse than the CCI does. There's some fast follow-up with this. And it ate them puppies. Woo, she's a hot bitch. Let's let her cool down. Stand by. All right, folks. Now, here's what we want to look at. This application right here, we're at about 12 yards. And what we're going to do is bring the pistol up, 5 rounds, combat style, straight into the green silhouette, back down to the ready gun. Going to do that 5 times in a row for each magazine. And I have a magazine in my pocket for standby use on a tactical reload. Before I do that though, standing at this distance, even though this is a light round, we are going to put on some iPro. Stand by. Voila, movie magic. All right, let's see how she does. She's good and cool. Took about 15 minutes. Let's see how she runs. Got in here 2 25 round magazines of the CCI TMJs. Let's see if she loads from the lock slide position with the slide lock release lever. She kind of juggled a little, but that's okay. She's got over 200 rounds in her. She's getting a little dirty, right? Let's see how she does. Got her too hot too fast. I've done that before on a date or two. All right, stand by, let's clear this stoppage. Figured something like that could happen. And that was a failure to eject. It was not a failure to feed. Another failure to eject. She's getting warm. I don't want to touch the barrel. Failure to eject. That one damn near failed to feed. Another failure to eject. So yeah, when they tell you in the book that these pistols get hot, and when they do, they have issues, they ain't lying. Now we're out. Stand by. All right. We got a cool pistol again. Or a cool barrel anyway. Only took about 15 minutes. We got another 2 magazines loaded up. The last 50 rounds. We're at 250 round count on this. This is going to be a full box 50 rounds not CCI. It's going to be a full box 50 rounds Hornady VMAX. These are 30 grain bullets and they ought to run pretty good, and they've been doing good so far. And one thing I want to mention, this weapon with its loud report, full size, but ability to function in not so an abusive manner as a 9mm or a 40 Smith or something heavier, strikes me as being something that would be really good as a weapon to familiarize with if you're getting into something like IDPA or IPSC competition, where you've got target stages where you have to make multiple shots very quickly on the same target. this would be a damn fine weapon for familiarizing with that without having to burn up all that more expensive ammo, relatively more expensive. So if you're getting into the game or you know someone that's wanting to get into the game, this would give them good familiarization experience with something that is quantifiable and qualifiable for using in those competitions. Help them get really into being able to do that and practice those types of activities without having to put up with all that buck and beller. All right, 50 rounds, let's see how she does. She shot good that time. 5 rounds apiece. I'll tell you what, let's just do an ass load of double taps from Ready Gun, okay? What do you say? Okay, now this weapon is not hot, but it is dirty. There's over 250 rounds in this weapon, through this weapon now, and I got a feeling she's getting a little bit cranky. Yeah. Who knows? I think she's just getting too dirty to play. She just wants to go home now and get a bath. Don't we all? All right. Failure to eject. Okay. She's just getting dirty and she's getting hot. Just gonna have to endure that, Brad. Here we go again. Chinga dai. Yeah, it's torture test time now. This is where we drop it in the dirt, see if it really counts. And we still got one stuck in there. It's pulling them out. I think it's just a little hot. This is one super fun son of a bitch, and it's loud. But you might need that for familiarization. And I'll tell you one thing, you use this for self-defense, some big old boys coming at you, and you're putting that kind of noise and flash out at, I'm seeing muzzle flash, and I'm standing here in broad daylight, 9:45 in the morning. Woo! That's going to back somebody up, I'll guarantee you that. All right, stand by for a little after action report. Be right back. End of the day. Boy, I can hear them cicadas today. Whee! Tell you what, boys and girls, it's starting to get warm out here, and it ain't even 10:30 yet. Oh my God. Whew. Man, I had some fun today. That's bad, boy. Bad girl, whatever. Oh, she's still warm. Final thoughts. I have to say I'm somewhat more impressed than I thought I was going to be. I've fired 2, maybe 3 semi-automatic 22 WMR platforms, and none of them had the repeatability on function that this one has. And I'm talking about high dollar stuff. Yeah, maybe that Magnum research, but that was an insanely expensive proposition. And good luck finding accessories for it. But this little guy right here, full-size pistol, 22 ounces bone dry. Not just a couple more once you fill her up. And honestly, like I said, I'm more impressed than I thought I was going to be, and I'm less distressed than I figured I would be. The only time I ever really experienced any issues, and you saw it on camera, was when this baby started getting hot. And they tell you in the manual, a hot gun can experience issues on failure to feed, or I'm sorry, correction, failure to extract. And that's exactly what was happening. And, you know, it had over 225 rounds through it at that point, and it bobbled that a few times, but it was hot. And the book says it'll do it, so hey, if the book says it'll do it, it'll do it. We fired 3 different types of ammunition, heavy and light. Seemed to eat them all just fine, but I tell you what, that Hornady has a very soft, very nice recoil impulse, and it's accurate. And when we first started shooting it, just as reliable as anything else. The Total Metal Jacket CCI, target stuff, doing good. The CCI VMAX 30 grain, kind of like the Hornady, just a black tip, it did good. I mean, really, I came out here, and I won't lie to you, I came out here expecting this to be maybe not a comedy of errors, but an experience in which I would go, nah, I don't think I want one. But now, after a 300 round run, basically not a torture test, but a damn good showing, I'm thinking I might want one. Damn. Damn. I'm thinking I might want one. I can already feel it happening. My wallet just went. Honestly, that was fun. It really was fun. And if you don't take it into the realm of where the book says it can have issues, yeah, it was a blast. So, like I said at the start of this, you could tell I was somewhat skeptical. I was coming into this with fully open eyes and not expecting anything other than what I found. And I found much more than what I thought I would find. And like I said, it's a rimfire cartridge. It's the longest rimfire cartridge available in .22 in commercial production that I know of. And platforms just don't normally have a lot of good, repeatable reliability with that. Not after the first dozen rounds. But this puppy really did its job. And I can tell you, she's dirty. So I'm going to take her home and give her a good cleaning. Get her all nice and pretty for my buddy Leroy, my brother of the blade. And take it back to him here in a couple of days, and he will have watched this video by then, and he will know everything he needs to know. So kudos and thank you to you, Leroy, for turning me on to this fun little piece of machinery. And I think it's going to do whatever you want it to do. I think the application you bought it for, it's going to be just fine. And I guess I'm going to have to start saving my money. Damn. Well, I hope you guys had fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. I really did. And I hope you learned a little something. I hope this gives you some insight to it. Like I said, we didn't cover all the little tiny minutiae details on this pistol that can be covered, but if you want to hear about those, plenty of other gun tubers have. So I want to thank you for coming out. I want to thank you for being with me today. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a blast. You can tell by the look on my face. He's going to go buy one of them damn things. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's going to. I might buy 2. Anyway, you folks have a great day. Be safe, be careful. Remember, love one another, love yourselves, be good to one another, and be good to yourselves. And if that means buying a pair of pistols you just discovered, well then by God, go do it. Anyway, looking forward to seeing you again on the next episode of Somewhere Downrange. And with that, I will say adios and goodbye.